Chloe, you can probably share your screen.
You see it?
Yes. All right, we can get started now. Welcome, thank you for coming. This is our fundraising data analytics project for the Nebraska Sports Council. Thank you again for coming, and I'm gonna go ahead and let Chloe do the introductions here.
All right, so as Cordell said, we are working for the Nebraska Sports Council.
This is Echo and Cody.
Pardon? Okay. I'm Chloe Galinsky. That's Cordell Rhodes. So we're two of the group partners on our project. So just a quick overview of the company, Nebraska Sports Council. So for those that don't know, they're a 501c3 nonprofit organization, obviously located in Nebraska, with a mission of providing quality competition for amateur athletes of all ages and abilities while promoting a healthy and active lifestyle choice. They're commonly known for the Cornhusker State Games, the Mud Run, the Pumpkin Run. Those are some of the bigger events that they're well known for. They have a wide variety of sporting events that they offer, and they have currently partnered with us to help them out with, I guess I'll move on to that, but working with us to actually further find like better ways to promote their company while promoting the events, but also finding ways to better fundraise because they are 501c. So they partnered with us to work on that, which I'll go into depth more. So the stakeholders themselves are Pat, who we have here, and we call him Linus, and the other stakeholder is Dave. So our team, as we mentioned, Pat, our project manager is Bill, his protege is Olivia, they've both helped us a lot throughout the semester. Our tribe lead is Vinod, and our technical reviewer is Samir, who works more with us just on the technical side of the project. So Cordell is our squad lead and product manager, so he kind of overlooks the team, working more so with the faculty than our rest of the developers do. We have a development manager, Guy, who you guys can go meet at our virtual table with the demo. We have Sam, myself, Oliver, that's his Chinese name, but we call him Oliver, and Will, who was only with us for the first semester, as he was a informatics minor and was only here for the first semester of this year and graduated early. But he helped us out a lot with the data analytics and visualization side. So the problem itself, as I mentioned, Nebraska Sports Council is kind of looking for a better way to gather all their information, find better ways to fundraise, promote events, etc. So they have a lot of data, 35 years worth to be specific, collected through multiple different systems, some websites such as Constant Contact, Quick Survey, Meltwater, all gathered a lot of different data, Excel spreadsheets, and also TXT format files on disks. So a lot of different places, a lot of different structure, which made it difficult when trying to actually gather and analyze the information. So that was our job, to find a way to merge all that information from so many different formats and give them an easy way to quickly pull up an application and analyze that information, get some actual information that's going to be helpful to them and beneficial in finding better ways to fundraise or finding different areas within the state or people to specifically go after in terms of increasing participation numbers. So we tried ultimately to come up with one easy, you're in and you're out in 5 minutes, getting all your information you need.
All right, so I think we overlaid the problem pretty well here. They had just basically spreadsheet on top of spreadsheet on top of spreadsheet, and it made it really hard to kind of see the data trends that were going on in their participation and their donations and whatnot. So we basically created our programs like this pipeline, right? You take all these Excel sheets, all these columns of just a bunch of data, and you kind of send it through this program. And when it comes out, it spits out a bunch of graphs and PDF reports, things of that nature that kind of help visualize their data a little bit better rather than just rows and lines. So some of the ways that this can help is like with their sponsorships, we're able to actually track back to like if we want to look at who sponsored the most in 10 years, we have a function that tells them that rather than just searching through their sponsorship sheets. Um, if they're looking for new donors, we can kind of track where most of their donations are coming from within the state. So we can see um, most of their donations will come from certain places, and we can say, oh, that's a hotspot for donations. So we can kind of hunt that area and see if people want to support there. And it also helps too with participation. We can see where their participants are coming from by county. So not only does it help them look for, hey, there's a lot of people coming from this area, so maybe we can get more people to come because you have an influence there, but they can also see where in the state they're not reaching out, maybe not necessarily reaching out, but they're not getting participation in that area. So they can kind of put a little more effort in there to try to get more people and kind of even out their participation across the state. I guess I didn't really read the slide, but can we go back for a second? Basically, the way our program works, we don't have screenshots of our program. If you want to see a live demo of it, you can come to our virtual table after this, but there's 3 different types of analysis. There's the event and sponsor and donor. That's basically the 3 main categories of their data. So depending on which files they put in, if it's like data about an event or a sponsor or a donor, they can go in and customize their analysis and get a bunch of graphs and whatnot. So if we go to the next slide, you can see um, this is just a stock Excel sheet that I pulled from Google because obviously we didn't want to put their real data in here. So this is kind of what it looks like. Just imagine hundreds of files like this with a bunch of rows and a bunch of columns. You know, it's really messy. And what we did is we turned it into something that makes it a little more useful to use in terms of marketing and participation and stuff like that. So if you go to the next one, here's an example of one of our outputs. It's we call it a Coropleth map. It's a little hard to see because it's pretty big, but this is their participants from. We went all the way back to 2006. This is when they first started gathering their data. So when I was talking about how they can hunt down the hot spots and the cold spots, you can kind of see down in Lancaster and Douglas, that area, they have a high density of people that like to participate, but maybe if they wanted to, they could reach out to the Northwest a little bit more. And it's just a good way to try to find new participants. If we go to the next one, this is just a line graph. This shows, we didn't include the sponsor in there for privacy reasons, but you can see, it's kind of hard to see, but the bottom line is years linearly, and then the top line is how much they donate. So it just helps them track over the years where sponsors have been donating at, and it helps them kind of find a good place to give them a good idea of where they would want to sponsor next. And then the next one is just, this is like their sports. So it just kind of shows which ones are popular, which ones aren't popular. We're running out of time, so I'm going to skip ahead to our value and highlights. Basically, the coolest thing we learned here was how to turn big data sheets into something that's useful. We really liked working as a team. Pat was great to work with. He was a great sponsor. The faculty was amazing. We had a really good time doing it. But it was just really cool to be able to turn this big database of just rows and columns into something that's a little more useful for marketing and whatnot. And I believe, yeah, that's it. So thank you for coming. I think we have like 30 seconds left. So if you have any questions, you can hop on over to our virtual room. And yeah, thanks. Have a good day.
Awesome, thank you. And let's give a virtual round of applause to our presenters, please. Whether it be through emote or All right, thank you. So our next presenters will be AI-based food image processing in 5 minutes. The full schedule can be found at the following link that I will post in chat.